Okay everybody, let's kick this video off with a quiz. What are you looking at right here in front of me? A Jeep Wrangler or a Jeep Gladiator? Even looking at some of these details, you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference, but here's the reveal. This is the 2020 Jeep Gladiator. When this brand new Gladiator debuted, that was the question we heard most often. Well, isn't it just a Wrangler with a bed? And you can't blame people if you just use your eyes. Yeah, essentially it looks like a Wrangler with a bed. But in this video, we're here to find the true answer to that question. So first of all, we're gonna climb all over the Gladiator and try to spot all the differences from the Wrangler, and then we're gonna put this thing to the test the way trucks should be tested. We're gonna tow a trailer, and finally, we're gonna do some light off-roading in this video to show off off-road pages. But make sure you come back to the channel because in the very near future, we're gonna do some hard off-roading with this thing and go find the mud. But that's for another video. For now, let's dive into this Gladiator. We'll start under the hood, and down here things are identical between these two vehicles. The Gladiator here uses a 3.6 liter V6 that makes 285 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque, and it is hooked to an 8-speed automatic. Now sadly, Jeep has not released the 2-liter turbo for the truck yet, but they say that a diesel is coming, so it will be pretty cool once Gladiator diesels hit the road. So as you saw off the top, styling-wise, yeah, this thing is basically a Wrangler. There's a couple subtle differences. First of all, these slats are actually slightly larger than on the Wrangler because this thing needs more cooling. And then there's also the front camera, which has a little sprayer on it. Now that debuted here on the Gladiator. So once you saw those things, you should have been able to tell that this was a Gladiator. Now here's the next thing, the tires. Here on this Gladiator Rubicon, we have a set of Falken Wild Peaks. Now these tires are available on the Wrangler. The difference is that on the Wrangler, you can also get a set of BF Goodrich KO2s, and those are not available on the Gladiator. So no BFGs for the Gladiator, just Falken Wild Peaks. Then of course you have the removable roof, very similar to the Wrangler, except the fact, of course, that it stops right here. And then here's the biggest, most obvious difference. There is a bed on this truck. So let's go ahead and pop the tailgate. It is damped. I have to say, compared to most trucks, very small, thin, flimsy feeling tailgate, to be honest. Now, there is only one configuration available for the Gladiator, so this is the only bed length you can get at 5 feet. There is a movable cleat system, which is nice, so you're able to move your tie downs around. And then if you look up there in the corners, we lighten up a bit. There's a couple of C-clamps. Another great feature on our Rubicon, there is a plug back here, which is excellent. And then one last thing I want to show you guys is right here, little Easter egg, Heart 419. And for those of you that don't know, 419 is the area code in Toledo, Ohio, where this truck is built. Then down below, of course, we have the 2-inch hitch receiver and the 7 and 4 pin connections. And this is another area where the Gladiator really sets itself apart from the Wrangler in the way that it tows. So let's cut back to yesterday, for me anyways, when I went and picked up a boat from Yamaha Canada, and you can see exactly how this truck did. Okay everybody, boat is hitched up and we are just merging onto a secondary highway here. So from a dead stop, let's floor it and see how the power feels. Okay, come on 3.6. And there's 80 kilometers an hour. So that wasn't too bad, but there's no doubt that the power in this engine, and this is the 3.6 V6, it all lives up high in the rev range. So you got to get this thing above 4,000 RPM before you really feel like the power hits. There isn't a ton down low. Now it is pretty free revving when you stick your foot right into it. It does like to shoot up into those revs, and once it's up there, there is definitely plenty of power to get you up to highway speed. So what are we hauling? Well, that is a 2019 Yamaha AR195 sport boat, and make sure you guys come back to the channel because I'm doing a full review on that, hopefully on a nicer day than today, but I cannot wait to get out on the water with it, so make sure you come back for that. But anyways, I'm pulling this boat up to the test property now. Now the boat itself weighs about 2,500 pounds, and then the boat and the trailer as a package is a little bit over 3,000 pounds, almost 3,100 actually. So we're only at just a little under half of this Rubicon's tow rating. This Gladiator is rated to pull up to 7,000 pounds, so we're just about at the halfway mark. So in the power department, yeah, the Gladiator's starting to feel just a little bit overwhelmed, but dynamically, the truck is handling the weight quite well. And I've towed with many different Wranglers, a lot of different weights. I've had Wranglers right up to max tow rating. And let me tell you that I think what is making the biggest difference between this truck and a Wrangler is the wheelbase. The wheelbase and how long this Gladiator is as compared to a Wrangler, well, that was definitely one of the biggest complaints when this truck was first revealed, because the Wrangler is meant for off-roaders, right? And off-road, that long wheelbase, yeah, it equals a bad breakover angle, and we will get to that very soon. But on-road, that long wheelbase equals stability. Once you stretch your wheelbase out like this Gladiator, everything becomes smoother and your inputs feel much calmer, so you're able to just drive in a manner that suits towing a little bit better. Towing with a Wrangler, in my experience, has almost always been a white knuckle experience. You're right on the wheel, you know, making sure that every little correction is right there. Towing here in the Gladiator, and yes, I know it's only half the rating, but even still, towing here in the Gladiator is a confident experience. There is one piece of crucial towing tech missing though, and that is a trailer brake controller. Now, Jeep is bringing a brake controller to the Gladiator. So for all you early adopters, yeah, you kind of got screwed over. This truck doesn't have a brake controller. Now my trailer here today has surge brakes on it, so luckily I don't need the trailer brakes, but yeah, if you're going up to 7,000 pounds, you will absolutely need a brake controller. So I'm happy to hear that Jeep is bringing it, just disappointed to hear it wasn't ready for launch. So what's my overall takeaway on towing with the Gladiator? With a load like this on, around half of its rating, this truck is comfortable and confident. I do fear that at the limit, it's gonna feel a little bit taxed in the powertrain department, but even then, I'm sure the engine will do it. You're just gonna be waiting a while to get up to speed. So now you know that yes, when towing, this Gladiator definitely sets itself apart. Now I want to go through the interior to see the differences, and let's start on the back seat. So first of all, when you just look at straight up legroom, this thing is identical to a four-door Wrangler at just a hair over 38 inches of legroom. Really where the differences lie are in the utility here. So you can lift up the seat bottoms and reveal this really excellent little storage bin. Now this is unique to Gladiator, and you know what? For anyone who owns a pickup truck, having storage like this is always handy. Whether you're towing a boat or something like that, you're always gonna have gear, extra added tidbits you need to store. So that's a great feature. Now, these simply flip back down, no handles or even pull straps required. And then up here on the shoulders, there are little pull straps. You can fold the seats flat, and behind the seats you reveal on this side a nice little baggie, once again, where you can store stuff. But let's walk around to the passenger side, because what's over here is even cooler, and once again unique to the Gladiator. So take a look at this. Fold that seat down. First of all, nice big flat space. And then what's that right there? Yes, it is a Bluetooth speaker. This speaker is removable. You can hook it up to your phone and crank the tunes. Now that is definitely a unique feature here on the Gladiator, and if you're out on the trail, it's nice to have your music with you, and you can see down in there, once you plug her back in, it actually charges. So grab your speaker, bring it back here, and I'll show you how easy it is to have a tailgate party. You hook up your Bluetooth, and then you just simply crank up the YouTube copyright-free music. And you can see, which is pretty cool, on the top there is sensitivity adjustment for a microphone, so you can actually use this thing to give and receive phone calls as well. Now let's tuck it away. And then this just tucks right back in like that. Nicely tucked away. You put the seats back up and it's hidden. Now that's definitely a neat feature. One last thing in the back here, you do have that MOLLE hookup, so you can get bags that use that meshing system. Now let's jump up into the front, and everything up here is basically identical to what you're gonna find in the Wrangler Rubicon. Looking at the front seat, if you've ever sat in a new Wrangler, yes, this Gladiator is basically identical. There's just two things I want to show you here on the interior. First of all, right down there, Off-Road Plus. That is actually unique to the Gladiator, and it is an off-road mode, which the Wrangler doesn't have, so that's pretty cool. One thing this truck has. And then next up, and this is something the Wrangler has, but I just want to dive deeper into it, is off-road pages. You can see it's an app here in the 8.4-inch Uconnect infotainment system, and here comes a pretty clear demonstration on how it works. All right, let's explore this Off-Road Pages app together. So you go into apps and you click on Off-Road Pages, and here's what comes up. So from here, let's go ahead and shift her over into 4 low. So I got the transmission in neutral, and you'll see the transfer case. It will actually tell you what is happening. So there, now it says 4 low. So now we will go ahead and lock up both differentials and disconnect the sway bar. So you can see it all there. Now it says lock, lock, locked. The sway bar is disconnecting. It doesn't always disconnect right away. Sometimes you do need to just roll a couple of inches forward or back before the sway bar disconnect kicks in. Turn the wheel a bit. There it is, sway bar disconnected. So now you can see on this screen, it is basically telling me everything that is going on with the vehicle, plus steering angle, and it even shows you your front wheels, which is pretty neat. Now next, you go down, you get these accessory gauges, coolant, oil temp, battery voltage, trans temp, and oil pressure. Good things to know if you're off-road. Underneath, I should also point out this bar, which never goes away. It shows you your altitude, and then your exact GPS coordinates. So once again, you're off-road, you can find out where you are. Well, the rain is definitely getting harder here on me, guys. And this is a good time to point out this plastic roof, these Freedom panels, yeah, it's quite loud when it starts raining, but we can't let that get in our way today. So here's the pitch and roll on the Off-Road Pages I want to show you now, and I'm about to go up this little hill right here, so I'll actually roll up the hill and let you guys watch and see exactly what it's doing. So 11 degrees, is that a 12 degrees? Is as steep as it's gotten so far. Can we get anything more than 12? 13? Yeah, we just kissed 13 degrees. So that's pretty neat, gives you a good sense for, you know, exactly where your Jeep is sitting. And then the next one, which we can watch as well, is the trail cam. So of course, this is your front and your rear camera. Right here is actually not a bad spot on the trail to have it on, because I got a ton of these little rocks in the trail, and it allows you to see right in front. Now you can see the rain is on the lens, and there's actually a clean camera button. Check this out. So that's a little sprayer up from underneath, and it cleans your lens. And even if you just have something like rain on the lens, it actually does help. If it was mud, it would make a big difference. But now I can actually see, oh, there's a rock, and it shows you your actual wheels, or at least your intended path. So you can see, as you turn your steering wheel, exactly where your front wheels are going to end up. And you know what? This is really a great system, because you can't see what's directly in front, and sometimes, you know, it's nice to have another set of eyes. So especially if you don't have a spotter, I really do like this trail cam. And then of course there is a button here to access the rear camera. Maybe you're backing up, does definitely happen out there on the trail. So nice to have views all the way around. All right, guys. Well, the rain is getting more serious out there now, so let's just go ahead and wrap this one up from right here inside in the dry. So this Jeep Gladiator, towing with it today, proved to me one really important thing. This is not a Wrangler with a bed. If you still thought that, put it out of your mind. Putting some weight on the back showed me that this is entirely competitive in the mid-size segment when it comes to working hard. The question is, can it still do all the Jeep stuff great? Well, that's something that I am eager to find out in another video. So that's it for this one, guys. Make sure you go below, hit like, hit subscribe, and then come right back here to the channel, because I am planning to take this Gladiator up the hydro line into the deepest mud that I have to see how it performs. And then don't forget, we're gonna test that Yamaha sport boat. Lots of great stuff coming, so make sure you stay tuned. See ya.